What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 6 of Siejka'd, Not Stirred. It's just me today, guys, with your host, Siejka'd. It's holidays, everyone's really, really busy. People planning trips, trying to get presents, working a lot to save up extra money for the holidays. And, I apologize. I haven't been here. I had finals. I'm doing all the stuff I just said, trying to do that. I just got a winter class just started up, and I'm trying to do that. Trying to get it out of the way so I can make videos for you guys and have fun with my family for the holidays. I'm getting a little festive today. Every cork tells a story. I'm not a big wine guy, but get a nice steak. Get a nice filet mignon, little potatoes. String beans, whatever. Give me a nice glass of, give me a nice glass of red wine. All right. Uh, you know, I'm not opposed. But anyway, I'm here this week to talk about the Week 16 power rankings, in my opinion, of what's going on in the NFL. And um, I'm gonna start on the NBA stuff soon. I just feel like, beginning in the NBA, everyone has their opinions. A lot of fluctuation. Like the Knicks are on an 8-game win streak. That could change. They can go on a 15-game losing streak. You never know. But I want to stay with the NFL for now because we're getting down to the end of the regular season. Teams are fighting for a playoff spot. Teams are trying to clinch. They're preparing for the Super Bowl. But once the regular season ends, I'll probably have one NBA video and then I'll preview the other video, the NFL playoff videos. Just keep that in mind for any of you who have been waiting for the NBA content. Apologize again. I haven't been here. It's been super busy, but I'm gonna get back on track. I got a few weeks off, and yeah, let's get started. All right, number 10 on the power rankings. This might come as a surprise to some of you. Minnesota Vikings. Okay, let's be real. Everyone, look at me. You're gonna need to calm yourself. You're gonna need to calm yourself. I get it. Okay, I get it. I get it. Vikings, greatest comeback in NFL history. It's crazy. I watched it. I'm surprised everybody didn't watch that game. Huge comeback after the second half. They retaliated. Basically every drive they got the ball, they scored. It was crazy. I'm I'm just if it wasn't the Colts, say it was, I don't know. Say it was the Giants, right? Or like the Commanders, the Lions, the Jaguars, whatever. I would be way more impressed. I'm already impressed. I'm already super impressed that they did that. It's crazy that they could even pull that off. But you shouldn't be down by 33 to the Colts. And I'm pretty sure that game is at home. You shouldn't have if you're 11-3 now, you're 10-3. You shouldn't, and the Colts are 4 they were 4-8-1 at the time. I'm pretty sure they're 4-9-1 right now. That just sounds about right. You shouldn't have to think about that scenario. You're the Vikings, you're an elite team in the offense anyway, defense, whatever. But you shouldn't even have to fathom the fact that you should be down 33 to the Colts. I just don't get it. I don't get how you let them walk in there and walk all over you. And I get they came back. It was crazy. Kirk Cousins clutched up. That offense was great. The defense came to play in the second half. But, you in the playoffs, you can't that won't happen. In the play against a real playoff team, that's not going to happen. You play the Cowboys or the Eagles or something like that, and they're up 33-0. You're not coming back and winning that game. There's no way. They're going to keep scoring on you. They're not going to score a field goal in the second half. That's not going to happen. So, Vikings, porous defense. I know they're 10-1 in one-score games. It's crazy. Kirk Cousins led 7 fourth-quarter comebacks. I am just concerned that if that's a game that they didn't let that game get away from them, but if that's any other real team, I'm concerned that they're not going to be able to do that, something like that again. If they're down 21, they're down 17, are they going to be able to come back and do that? Because a real team would keep scoring on them. There's no, with a team with that much momentum going into halftime, I feel like you should be able to score another touchdown at least, or at least, more than a field goal, 2 field goals, 2, 3 field goals. But no, the Colts floundered. The Vikings went to the locker room. They schemed it up. They came back and they won. And good on them. I'm super impressed, but I'd be more impressed if it was a real team that came in there and put 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 them against a wall, rock and a hard place, and really put them to the test. But in the playoffs, that's not going to happen, and that defense really needs to step it up if they're going to win any more than any more than one playoff game. Number 9, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Guys, did you know Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback in the NFL since week 9? Number 1 in completion percentage with 70.4. It's insane. That's insane. Number 1 in touchdown to interception ratio, 14 touchdowns to 1 interception in the last 7 weeks. What? That's crazy. Not even like the elite quarterback. Patrick Mahomes hasn't been doing it. Josh Allen has been doing it. Joe Burrow isn't doing it. Tua isn't doing it. That's how good Trevor Lawrence is. And his team is not as good as any of those teams. He is not as good as any of those teams. He just lost his left tackle, Cam Robinson. I'm not sure how long he's gone for, but that's a huge blow for them, protecting his blind side. But now he's running. He's throwing with anticipation. He can make those deep throws. He can make all the throws, easy throws, hard throws, whatever you need him to do, he can do it. And he's also number 1 in passer rating with 111.2. And he's been getting pressured a decent amount. You know, his O lines are good, nothing amazing, but even when he's under pressure, he can still make those throws. You know, tight windows. He's just amazing. You know, the defense is a little here and there. There, injuries and stuff. But they just beat the Cowboys in overtime. Cowboys are a solid team. The Cowboys are no joke. They're right outside that Super Bowl bubble. But the Jaguars are coming up and they're scary. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not excited for this Thursday game. I'm really not excited for this Thursday game. I want the Jets to win, but Zach Wilson's here. He sucks. There's nothing we can do. And they play some good defenses. Dallas is a good defense. The Jets are also a very good defense. They're better than Dallas in my opinion. But we just there's no way. And if we're going defense to defense, Jets are better by a margin. If we're going offense to offense, Jags are a whole nother tier of great, especially at the quarterback position. And they're looking like a team that could sneak into the playoffs, and I think they might even win out these last few games. It's going to be a crazy ride for the Jags. They haven't made the playoffs since that AFC Championship, 2017, I think, with Jalen Ramsey. It's been a while, guys. It's been a while. Actually, you know what? Let me make sure. I just want to, because I don't want to spread misinformation. I remember the playoffs like it was yesterday. Sorry, I'm using my phone. I just want to make sure. I remember the playoffs like it was yesterday. And that game and freaking, what was his name? That one quarterback. Oh, Nathan Peterman. Sorry, Nathan Peterman. It's been a while since that, and he single-handedly lost in that game for just being terrible. But the Patriots were amazing. They had Tom Brady. You can't really beat them. Can't beat that. But the Jaguars are no joke, and if I was any team, I'd be scared right now to see what they're doing. Number 8, the Detroit Lions. Probably surprised some of you. Surprised me, even when I was thinking about this list. And I was like, who's really good? The Chargers are good. Oh, honorable mention to the Chargers. They're 8-6. They're doing really well. They're not, in my opinion, they're not as good as any of these teams right now. But obviously they can compete with all of them, but they're not in my top 10. They're very, very close, though. I almost put them in, but number 8, the Lions. Jared Goff hasn't thrown an interception in 6 games. Only quarterback to do so far. And you know what that means? He's being protected. He's being protected. And I was at the Jets game, and I saw what they were doing. Easy flat routes. Easy open little short routes for Jared Goff. The occasional deep bomb. He threw like 2 or 3 deep bombs, didn't connect. But the short routes are always open. The protection is phenomenal. If you watch the O-line, the protection is phenomenal. He hasn't gotten sacked in back-to-back games this season. Like, that's insane. That's the only quarterback to do that. So the protection's great. Receivers are coming into their own. Running game is good. He's making the easy throws. That's what they're doing in the Lions to keep them in the game. Their defense is coming out. Their defense is coming out as a great defense. Nothing spectacular, but they're looking amazing. They stunned us at home. you know, and their offense is great. They have a lot of huge weapons. They lost T.J. Hawkinson to the Vikings, but it doesn't seem like they miss in that much. But I mean, with Jared Goff has protection when he has the time, they win games. When Jared Goff has a clean pocket, he's a top 12 quarterback easily. But when he doesn't, obviously, we saw what happens there. But yeah, Lions at number 8, they're a huge threat. They beat the Vikings, beat the Jets. They're a real team. They're a real team, and I'd be worried, as well as the Jaguars. Those two teams. If I was playing either one of them in the playoffs, I'd be pretty worried, honestly. Number 7, Dallas. All right, Dallas. I mean, they're 10-4, great record. 3 of 4 losses on the road. Home is different than away. There's such a thing as home field advantage. Um, but they haven't really gotten and the losses they have on the road. Besides, like they lost one by 9 points. The other two were close. The Jags with one score, Packers one score, and it was an overtime for the Jags. It was crazy, and they can keep up. Dak, he's thrown 11 interceptions this year. He threw 10 last year, and there's still 3 weeks to go. And he hasn't played up to the level. I know he was hurt for a little bit. He hasn't played up to the level he usually is at. But he's a solid B tier quarterback. You should be able to win with that. And they've had 10 games this year with over 125 rushing yards. And you could say their O-line is a work in progress. But that's crazy. Zeke and Tony Pollard are two pretty good. I think Zeke is, what I think about Zeke. Zeke's a little whatever. But Tony Pollard's looking great. But the 1-2 punch of that backfield is unstoppable. 125 yards last 10 games. You can't stop them. You can't stop that. And that opens up the pass game. When you run it, and then the team's like, oh, 3rd and 1. They're definitely going to run up the middle, do a little fake handoff, a little play action to the flat tight end. Boom, 10, 15 yards. It's that easy when you're the Cowboys and when you're a team that does that a lot. So, as in the Cowboys, I think they could win 1 or 2 games. Super Bowl, as I said, they're right outside my bubble. But, I wouldn't be surprised if they were in the championship. It'd be a really tough road there, but I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Number 6, the Dolphins. Dolphins are guys. None of these teams are going to be like, if this was early in the season, you'd be like, oh, this team's going to fly, whatever. All these teams are real. All these teams are real right now. It's a weird thing. Jags and Lions in there. Even the Vikings 11-3. They're still at the bottom of my list, but they're all real. They're all real teams. They can all compete. It's crazy. So the Dolphins, you know, they lost in Buffalo, but they outplayed them. And their defense is hurt. And I know the Bills fans might be in here. Whoever's watching, be like, oh, the Dolphins, they didn't have playoffs. We won. Oh, what are you talking about? Blah blah blah. Guys, Miami was a 50-degree difference. And they came in there and they almost beat you. You had to win by a last-second field goal, And they just it's cold. When you're a player that plays in warm weather, your body stiffens up when you go in the cold. It's a lot harder to do that stuff. But they stayed in the game. They outplayed you. It should have been over by the halftime. The snow didn't come until later. But if you're the Bills and you're trying to compete for a Super Bowl and you can't put the Dolphins away within like at least a touchdown at home in the snow, I'd be worried. But the Dolphins are real. Tua's arm concerns me. There's some shaky things on that offense. The defenses are right, but they're right there. They're also right there in the Super Bowl bubble. They're right outside with Dallas. Great team. The scheme's awesome. Offense, I love it. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Mike Gesicki, they don't use him that much, but he's still a big weapon, Nice safety valve stuff. And their running backs, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson. Myles Gaskin's still there, doesn't play, but still their 3rd-string running back. Great team. Great all around. A lot of weapons. I wouldn't be complaining if I was a Dolphins fan after that loss. I'd be pretty confident right after that. Number 5. I know I have them a little low. Kansas City Chiefs. They just went to overtime with the Texans. I know the Cowboys just had a hard time with the Texans, but if you're Patrick Mahomes, and they had most of the Texans team was hurt. Derek Stingley was out. Damian Pierce was out. A few other key players on that team were out. You still went to overtime with them, you know. And the quarterbacks who've played the Chiefs, all of them, most of the quarterbacks, I'm pretty sure all of them, yes, have all had 99 passer ratings against the Chiefs. That's really bad. That's really bad. That means the Chiefs are letting up super easy throws. They're letting up a lot of completions. And that's not how you win games. You know, the Chiefs, they have a powerful offense. They can move the ball whenever they want. They don't need, obviously, they showed they don't need Tyreek Hill, even though they would love to have him. But they have Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in this league by far. He's a generational talent, Hall of Famer. I think if he wins the Super Bowl the next 2 years, he's already a Hall of Famer. 2 or 3 years, he's already a Hall of Famer. In my eyes, I mean, he could be one right now by the way he plays and the way he runs that field. But Mahomes it's Mahomes. I can't put them any lower than 5. I wanted to put them above the Bills, but the Bills are better. So, but Mahomes, Travis Kelce connection is unstoppable. Isaiah Pacheco's coming in. They have a really good passing option out the backfield with Jerick McKinnon. It's a great team. They still have Chris Jones. They have L'Jarius Sneed. But they're doing good. Their offense is great, but their defense needs to pick it up. I don't know what needs to be changed. Obviously, they should go defense in the draft like they should for the next few years because their O-line's great. And as long as they have one or two decent weapons for Patrick Mahomes, he's going to be all right. Greatest quarterback in the league by far. No competition right now. Number 4, the Bills. Bills are great. Bills are a great team. There's no other way to slice it. They're a great team. They're my favorite. No, they're my second favorite coming out of the AFC for the Super Bowl. Easily could do it. Josh Allen throws a few more picks than Patrick Mahomes, but he's still Josh Allen. He can still run the ball, truck people, hurdle people, fly over people. Perhaps some would say he's amazing. He's great. But my issue with the Bills, my one sole issue, maybe not sole, but biggest issue, they rely too much on Josh Allen. If they're down, they expect him to take the whole team on his shoulders like he's someone like he's carrying the whole world on his shoulders, They expect him to do everything. And I get it. MVP candidate, great quarterback, top 3 quarterback in the NFL, top 2 quarterback in the NFL, whatever. But you can't do that. You can't let Josh Allen take the load. The run game isn't good. Their O-line is sub. It's subpar. And he gets protection, whatever. Their defense is great, good pass rush, good corners, linebackers. Tremaine Edmonds coming in as a great coverage linebacker right now. But I just don't. I couldn't imagine the pressure Josh Allen feels every game when they're down by any amount of score, and they're like, you have to fix you Josh Allen have to fix this yourself because that run game is not doing anything. They'll get a few big runs here and there, but nothing consistent enough where it could take a big load off of Josh Allen's shoulders. He's amazing. They still have Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Isaiah McKenzie's whatever. Dawson Knox looking pretty good. But if I was the Bills in this upcoming draft, I know it's going to be late. You gotta get a piece on that old line. You gotta get something to support that run game because if you can take that weight off of Josh Allen's shoulders, if you can help him by not letting him, he's one of the leading rushers on that team. He shouldn't be doing that. He's great. Great weapon running, but that shouldn't be a huge part of your game plan. He's not Jalen Hurts, he's not Justin Fields, because he can sling it better than both of them. I'd rather him hone his passing and then keep, the QB runs to not a minimum, but a little above that. I just, I don't want to see I just don't want to see a player like that get hurt over because you just want to keep running him into the ground. It's not a great play style. In all 5 mobile quarterbacks right now are hurt. Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson, etc. Whoever the mobile quarterbacks are in this league, they're all hurt right now because they're running, they're taking big hits, and they shouldn't be doing that as a quarterback. Their main thing should be throwing the ball downfield and taking the nice, safe runs if they can. I don't want to see you putting your shoulder down to people. That's when I would start to get worried as a head coach in an organization. Number two, sorry, Niners. Um, oh no, number three, sorry, Niners. Forgot to scroll down a little bit. Um, the quarterback doesn't matter. Come on, guys, the quarterback doesn't matter when you're a Niners fan. Who cares? Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, freaking anybody. You put anybody, and they can do it. They can do it. It's the Niners. They have a great scheme. Weapons everywhere. Debo, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk. I'm trying to think of another. There's a few other guys on there. Great linebackers, great D line, great safeties, great corner. Like the 49ers know how to build a team. They have an instruction manual how to build a team and keep it well. It's like the Niners are a Lego set, and Kyle Shanahan has the little book. Have you ever done you ever made a Lego? You have a little book. It tells you exactly what to do and where to put it. That, except obviously they keep losing the quarterback piece because they keep the little Lego guy it comes with. That's the quarterback. They keep losing him because they just keep finding another person to replace him with. But the whole framework of a team, it's just simple for them. They just know how to do it. They know how to build a team. They know how to keep it balanced. They know how to run. They know how to pass rush. They know how to do everything. The 49ers are not perfect, but close to a great ran organization. There's not a lot of weaknesses on this team. O-line's great, D-line's great. There's nothing to complain about. Nothing to complain about. And after they lost to the Chiefs, they're 7-0. I know, it's crazy. It's not like, lost to the Chiefs, whatever. Chiefs are better. Not anymore. Not anymore. I don't think the Chiefs would beat them personally. I think that defense would keep Patrick Mahomes down. And since that Chiefs defense is pretty porous, I think a lot of easy runs, a lot of short stuff. I think the Niners would win. I think they're an easily Super Bowl contender in my eyes. It's a tough matchup. It's a tough matchup for them and the Eagles. I was having a hard time. I don't know if it was them or the Eagles, but I still think the Eagles are better right now. Number two, the Eagles. They're the best. Their defense is the best in pass and yards per play. Best defense. They're keeping it super low. Pass defense is fantastic. O-line and D-line, both top 10 in the league. There's not a lot of weaknesses on this team, except for Jalen Hurts running the ball. Like I said with Josh Allen, I know Jalen Hurts is mobile. I know he's great at running the ball, crazy good, elusive, whatever. I wouldn't, unless there was one play against the Bears, the O-line cleared out, actually just shifted. I'm trying to, sorry. Trying to bounce on my leg. They literally cleared the D-line like this. They pushed him like this. Jalen Hurts, boom, ran for a touchdown. Those are the ones I like to see. Obviously, when the protection breaks down and there's nothing open, you should run for it. But I don't want to see running be a 1A and 1B option. I want to see running as a quarterback be only if you have to, or if it's like super open, wide open, and there's no risk of getting destroyed by a linebacker or safety. It's scary. You really want to risk your quarterback? You really want to risk your franchise quarterback over a couple extra yards? And it's a huge weapon. I'm not saying stop doing it, because that would just be silly. That would just be a joke. You can't stop that. It's a pretty legitimate way to win games for the Eagles. But Jalen Hurts is coming into his own as a passer, and I think you should focus on that more than his running. And I think you should keep A as the passing. If you have to run with Jalen Hurts, if you think it's the right call, if you don't think they're going to expect it, or you don't think they can even get to him, do it. By all means, do it. But I don't want to see that being your 1A, 1B, because that worries me. And that if I was an Eagles fan, it worried the heck out of me. Jalen Hurts is out with a sprained shoulder this week, and you can't have him hurt for the playoffs. You can't. I'm not. I wouldn't even. I'm pretty sure they clinched. No, they didn't clinch because the Cowboys are right there. But when the Eagles clinch, don't play Jalen Hurts anymore. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Don't play him anymore. They have great receivers. You can't stop. You can't stop Jalen Hurts. Why would you want to hurt him anymore? It's like Tom Thibodeau when he put RJ Barrett and the starters in against that one game they were losing, and they kept RJ in, and he sprained his ankle. He's out for like a week and a half. What's the point? What's the point? Why would you do that? So again, I'll reiterate: don't don't keep Jalen Hurts from running. Let him run, but let it die down a little bit because it's huge. Lamar's hurt. Justin Fields is hurt. Jalen Hurts is hurt. Three of the huge main mobile quarterbacks in this league are all hurt because of well, Lamar isn't. He got hurt on a sack, but other two got hurt while they were running. You know, it's a risky game. It's a tough game. You get popped from out of nowhere. Why do you think running back shelf life is the shortest in the league? Because they get popped, they get worn down, and their joints can't take it anymore. So Eagles still number two. Number two because I don't know. I think number two because I think they would lose to this team that's next, and I feel you guys can guess if you're watching this who's gonna come next. But it's the Bengals. It's the Cincinnati Bengals, guys. 6-game winning streak. Burrow also has 70% completion percentage. They just had a huge comeback against the Niners. Their scheme was amazing at halftime. They were getting, I mean, not the Niners, sorry, Buccaneers. They were getting destroyed by the Buccaneers. Tom Brady was walking all over them, whatever. They went back in the locker room, schemed it up. Like, this is what we have to do. Everybody listen up. This is what we got to do to win this game. They won the game. They blew them out. Like, they went in. They have great receivers. Their O-line is gelled completely. Joe Burrow is protected for the first time in his career. Short career, but he's finally protected. And he looks freaking fantastic. I have a Joe Burrow shirt. Excuse me. I have a Joe Burrow shirt. I'm not a Bengals fan by any means. I'm a Joe Burrow fan. Love the guy. Love the swag he brings to this game. Love the way he throws that ball. I'm not even worried. I'm not worried if I'm a Bengals fan. Obviously, the big games coming up. I got to play the Bills, Chiefs in the playoffs, whatever. But I'm not worried. I mean, what do you have to be worried about? Joe Mixon, even if he's hurt, Samaje Perine, great backup. He's proved how good he is. Defense is doing all right. Nothing spectacular by any means. But this team is I'm not worried. If I'm the Bengals, I'm not worried about it. And again, they're number one because Joe Burrow does run the ball, but he doesn't run it as much as Jalen Hurts. Doesn't run as much as Josh Allen. Not as much of an injury risk, in my opinion. He's only putting his body at risk when he seriously has to. And I know that's not. I know their games are completely different. Blah blah blah. Siejka'd, you're invalid points. I'm just saying, you gotta think about the future. I know you want to win. It's for the mobile quarterbacks out here. I know you want to win. I know you want to be the best. I know your team wants. I need you to do what you're doing, and I respect it. But you got to know when to slide. You got to know when to not run. You got to know when to do this and do that. Whatever. I'm no coach by any means. I'm no offensive coordinator. I'm no QB coach. But that's just my opinion personally. I'm a little scared. And back to the Bengals, they're just a great team. I mean, I'm rooting for them. The Jets aren't going to make if the Jets lose this week, they're not making the playoffs, and the Bengals are going to be my team. The Bengals and I'll pick one from each for my teams. Pick the Bengals and the AFC. Even though I kind of want to say the Jags, but the Jags are cool, but I think the Bengals are just overall better. The Bengals and let's see. So I have a list here in my docs. I just had some notes here. The Bengals and I don't want to say the Niners. I feel like I feel like a cheeser if I say the Niners. I feel like a kind of like a bandwagon. But I like Brock Purdy. Oh, God. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, guys? What are we doing here? I'll say the Niners. I'm sorry, whoever's like, oh, you're just choosing the good teams. You're choosing the good teams in the Super Bowl bubble. Well, I'm not sorry. Both these teams are cool. I like Christian McCaffrey's that team. I don't see why not. Why wouldn't you root for him? I feel like unless you're in their division, you can't really hate on these teams. I feel like you can't. I feel like even if you're the Chiefs and you lost to them in the AFC Championship last year, I feel like you can't even hate the Bengals. They're just a cool. They're just not. They're just a cool team. Got a lot of swag to them. You know, and the Niners the same way. Unless you're in the division, I feel like I don't know why you hate the Niners. They're coming back from all this adversity, all this stuff that's happening to them, all the injuries, and they're still coming back and winning games. It's crazy. And you know what? I'll preview the Thursday night game for you guys. All right. Jets Jags. You know, I'm not gonna go crazy into it. I'm not trying to keep this video super long. Um Jets, they lost. They lost. I'm just like, look at my face. Look at my face. We lost to the Lions because Zach Wilson's bad. I know his game was like whatever. It wasn't as bad normally, but he's still bad. Like, we're not winning this game. Like, we're not. The Jets aren't winning this game. I don't even know what the spread is. Let's see what the spread is, guys. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna guess. 5.5 spread. I feel like it's pretty. I think it's pretty reasonable by the non-professional sports bookie, Christopher Siejka'd. Let's see here. Oh wow. Excuse. Oh, what? Okay, the Jets are -1.5 for this game. Vegas isn't always right, guys. I'm taking the Jags +1.5. We're gonna get destroyed. We're gonna get destroyed. There's no other way to put it. The defense can't carry us the whole time. They're gonna start hating the offense. They already hate the offense. Mike White was in. Maybe I'd take the Jets. Maybe. Just maybe. Chance. But with bum Zach Wilson in there, no. Absolutely not. Yep, guys. Final take from me. Jags +1.5. You can take it if you want. I'm no professional, as I've said before. But with that, I'm going to end it off here. Again, apologies. I'll be back. I should have another video up for Christmas. I got some homework to do before then. I'm working tomorrow. I'm going to the city, New York City, for a little bit. But I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow night. So, and today's Wednesday. Yeah, so I'll be back Thursday night, just in time for the Jets game, just in time to watch them get slaughtered at home. I'm so excited. Anyway, hope you all have a happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you're celebrating. And you'll see another video from me later this week. And yeah, peace out.